Good afternoon, everyone. We are live right here at Century City Conference Center right in Cape Town. This is Oliver Fortune Chikozore, Africa Rising TV. And we've just been joined by Nelly, who is representing 1.5. And she's going to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at 1.5.
Hi, my name is Nelly Kutumela. I am with 1.5 Partners. I am currently working as the communication and brand strategist. 1.5 is a strategic leading organization in climate action and sustainable development. We have over 20 years experience in the renewable energy sector and the climate action sector across Africa, across the world, actually, through our leadership. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's excellent. And I know that we have other directors that are not here today, but they'll be joining us tomorrow. But as your first ever experience, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today? And what has been the highlights for you? What stood out for you?
So today has been an amazing day, a great experience. A very insightful, information-packed. I've recognized almost the gaps that are currently there in the oil and gas sector for other industries outside of the traditional mining, engineering, and as far as legal even. For a company such as our own, an organization such as our own, there's so many gaps. Currently we are pioneering in ESG software, so we're moving. You can see how you can incorporate new technologies into this industry. Like I said, currently we're pioneering ESG software into Africa, into Southern Africa, specifically for the oil and gas today, but it crosses various industries for regulatory alliances and ESG compliance, carbon tracking, almost the renewable energy side of things. How can companies best stay within the regulatory almost on guidelines.
And one of the challenges that we face as a continent is how do we unite as a continent, but also how do we capacitate those who cannot be able to capacitate themselves. Okay. And one of the other things that we have to do as a continent is to have a pan-African integration system where we can bring the entire ecosystem so that we can be able to address our challenges to create economic growth. And I'm happy that in your company there is a female, so there is a diversity in terms of contributions and inputs. Yes. What do you recommend that should be done by events such as South African Oil and Gas Forum to include women and youth into the sector, especially young and small, medium enterprises?
Well, I think the biggest, and I would say easy in the sense of projecting the message to these bodies that you've mentioned would be outreach. Specifically for the youth, I would say, coming fresh out of my youth days, would be outreach and education and reaching out and striking conversations within their spaces versus social media, catering to their language almost and bridging that, because I feel like sometimes it might feel very far removed, and so maybe bridging that conversation would be very beneficial in closing those gaps. Yes.
Those gaps. And thank you so very much. And I know that you can't talk much about it, but do you just want to give us the glimpse on the highlights of the event that we are going to do, the product launch of the software? Maybe around about July in Johannesburg. Do you want to highlight the launch and what we should expect? I know we're going to be hosting more than 150 executives within the financial service sector. Yes. Please tell us a little bit more about the event.
So the event is the official launch for 1.5 in Johannesburg, South Africa. We'll be highlighting our service offerings, the products that we have to offer, communicating our goals and values, and attracting as many stakeholders and people who are within the vision, who are as interested and as passionate as we are about what we do, driving sustainable change, climate action. So basically that's what the event is, trying to spread the message across South Africa and really taking over the market share, really gaining that relevance in the various industries.
In the industry, and that will help us to create economic growth as well as jobs for the people, and perhaps from South Africa by extension to the continent.
Yes,
do you have
absolutely.
any final message to our viewers who are at home and to our police, any recommendation to our policymakers, as well as there are many young girls out there that might not have this opportunity, any message of encouragement to them to also be involved themselves in the oil and gas sector as well as sustainable and climate energy?
The oil and gas sector is very specific, and what is come across as very specific. As a person who with marketing background, I'm a brand strategist, I felt so far removed when I was briefed with this opportunity. But when I finally got to interact with every individual here, I started to realize that it's nothing more than just a conversation between different people in different environments, different industries, and everybody is relevant. Oil and gas shouldn't be an intimidating industry where you feel like you need to have a PhD in mining and engineering in order to participate. There are many, many opportunities to make changes and to make an impact all throughout communities. With this, one of our speakers today made a comment about what's the quote where he says, "Our communities do not eat oil." I don't know if you heard that, and the dispute was actually we do eat. The community, we do eat oil, we do consume oil, and that is kind of embodiment of what it is. It's not just the oil, the gas that we look into. There are many elements and many aspects of various industries that feed into oil and gas and its relevance to many communities and many people.
Thank you so very much. There you have it, here in Cape Town at the 4th South African Oil and Gas Conference 2025. Bye-bye, bye-bye.